While we're currently waiting for any ASBR news, I wanted to take a closer look at Trish's Eyes of Heaven moveset and see how it could actually be translated over to ASBR, since it's been confirmed that she's going to make it to the launch roster. What I'm going to be talking about is pure speculation. Like, Trish could get a character trailer later this month, deconfirming literally everything I'm talking about, but I just thought it'd be fun to theorize on how she could play in ASBR. If these kind of character analysis or prediction videos sound interesting, let me know in the comments below, and please make sure to subscribe as I'm very close to hitting my goal of 500 subscribers before the launch of ASBR. With all that being said, let's start talking about Trish's moveset. By the way, ignore how rough this looks. I'm running this on the PS3 emulator and I tried to upscale it, but it was just not working out. Like, my aspect ratio would get absolutely destroyed anytime I try to upscale this game. The first thing I want to mention is this right here. Like, this is what I think her stand off, light, medium, heavy are gonna be. So she dashes in, she does this button. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this button is gonna be. I think it might be like a stand on command normal, but she does 5L. I think this is like the first square hit of her square string whenever you just mash square, but I think it's gonna be 5L right here. This is gonna be 5L. Jolene's blocking it, but this is gonna be 5M where she just kicks forward, and this is gonna be her 5H. Whether it be like in stand on or stand off, this is gonna be her 5H. Then afterwards she cancels it into L1 square, which is just like a flurry of punches with like the standout. And with the position that she's in, this could honestly be, this could work as like stand off or as stand on. Like, I could totally see this as a move that you could just like stand rush and then program it so Spice Girls walks forward a little bit, kind of like Giorno's stand on 236L, or you could just have her stand still like this and then have it work like Jotaro's 236L, which you can also like mash for more hits. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that you could actually mash for more hits and you can combo it into her HHA. And also, speaking of her HHA, I'm gonna just talk about it while this gameplay is going on. Her HHA, like, so characters in this game, they don't have level 1 supers. They only have like cinematic like dual heat attacks, which are pretty much just like ASB's GHAs. So they're gonna actually have to give her a brand new HHA since she just does not have one in this game. But honestly, like, if they just pour over her like dual heat attack from this game and then just up-res it so it looks nice, like, I wouldn't even mind. Like, I think her dual heat attack is like really fucking cool. Like, I wouldn't mind it if they just poured it over and just made it look nicer. So the next part of her kit that I wanted to talk about is her R1 active skill, that little move that she just put down, this red puddle. So what this does is, if the opponent walks over it, they get launched up and you get like a full air combo in Eyes of Heaven, right? So at some point Anasu's gonna walk over and they're gonna get bounced all the way up. It does like very little to like no damage, but you do get a full combo after it if you see it get hit like this. So the way I think it's gonna work is like Koichi's like little trap where he can walk over and then bounce himself up. I think it's gonna work the exact same way, so I don't think it's gonna be that good, because Koichi's like air trap it's honestly not that good. Like, yeah, you could like camp it, but ASB doesn't have any air combos, and whenever it hits, it just launches you up and you don't really get much off of it. And I think it's gonna be the same exact thing with like her R1 active skill. Like, it's gonna be cool. You could theoretically use it for Oki, or maybe you could set it down PC and then taunt, just like Jolene's like trap taunt combos. I could see it working in that way, but honestly, like, outside of it working that way, if it works anything like Koichi's, it's probably going to be really bad. So the next string is this right here. So this coming up, this is going to be Trish's square triangle, which is just, she just kicks. This is what I think is going to be her 5L. But then she goes into this interesting, like, this is like a really weird looking normal. Like, she summons Spice Girls and then they like do like this overhead kick. Now, I could totally see this either being like a command normal or a stand on, like, or it could also be like a stand on command normal. To me, it looks too much like a command normal overhead. Like, I don't know if I could see it being an overhead, kind of like Fugo's like half circle back L whenever he's in stand on, that overhead. It could work like that, where you could also like stand rush it and shit, but I'm not sure. Like, I'd either say this could be a like stand on command normal, or it could work like Fugo's half circle back normal that you could also like PC, or you could also stand rush. Now, something that I've actually not mentioned up until now is the fact that Eyes of Heaven characters, they gave characters air combos in this game, kind of like Storm, like tilts, where you could like knock them up and then do like a little like air series and then knocks them back down. And Trish has this, right? I don't remember what the exact inputs are for this little string right here, but she actually has a move that launches you up and you can follow up after. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea if they're actually gonna translate this over to ASBR. With the way that they're changing up like juggles, there's a chance that they could translate that over, but right now, like, I'm really unsure because like this feels like a, like if it were to get translated to like 2D, it looks like it could work more like a Marvel vs. Capcom launcher, or if anyone's ever played Rival Schools slash like Project Justice, kind of like a Project Justice style like launcher. And as of right now, like All-Star Battle just does not have those. Like the game has like very little juggles or air combos. Like the game just doesn't have that. So it'd be really cool and interesting if they actually do end up like porting this little like Magic series over to All-Star Battle R. Like maybe this could be like a Eyes of Heaven character exclusive, or I doubt this would happen. Maybe they could actually rework the cast so that they actually start giving them juggles like this, because most of the characters in Eyes of Heaven do have this little Magic series. If they're not going to turn this into like an air combo starter, I think what they could do instead is just make this a DP. Make it like an Hermes like DP where she just summons the standout the exact same way. You could either turn this into a DP, or this could also be like a standoff command normal that works like Hermes' DP, that you can PC it, jump up forward, and then get like a full combo after it. It could also work like that. If they're just not going to add that air series into the ASBR, they could honestly just do that instead. Now, this small string that Trish is about to do now, this is actually part of like her square, 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 triangle little series. Like this isn't a special move per se. Like this is actually part of just like her normal strings. This move, I feel like this move could actually be like her grab. Like if they actually like just reprogrammed it and changed this into like the animation for her grab, they could totally just reuse this that way. Or they could just turn it into like a special move, because this isn't her L1 circle. Like this isn't in cooldown. It's its own unique normal within the game. And this game doesn't really have like a lot of grabs. So if I had to make it work, I would make that little normal her grab, just because like, I mean, it's cinematic anyways. They could just totally turn that into her grab. It also looks super sick, and honestly, outside of like 2 moves, like Trish doesn't really use her her pull like that in this game. She like hardly uses it. This next move, I actually really like her a lot. This is her L1 circle, which is like, it's not really like a command, it's not a command grab, but it works a lot like Jotaro's half circle back, Jotaro's standoff half circle back L, where he summons out Star Platinum, hits you a little bit, and then sets up for like a hard knockdown. This move, it pretty much does like the same thing, in that it actually has like a lot of startup, but once you get hit by it, you get put into this animation, and then you get knocked down, and you gotta hold that. Like, look, Anasu doesn't give it up. Although I'm not 100% sure if you can quick rise that in this game, but if they do, or when they end up translating that move over to ASBR, I could totally see it working like that. Have it work just like Jotaro's half circle back L, get a free setup afterwards, setup for Aoki. Like, it could be really cool, and that's how I think that this move is going to translate over. Here's another example of what her air series looks like, and yeah, like I don't think that this combo is going to be translated into ASBR. Like, it would be cool if, you know, like there were actual air combos in the game, and, you know, like the Eyes of Heaven characters that get ported to have them, but I don't know. I don't think CyberConnect 2 is going to change up the game that much to give characters like all this crazy shit. So her L1 triangle move, it actually reflects physical and projectile based moves back at the opponent. So this is going to work like a counter. And if you guys have played any All-Star Battle ever, you know how 50-50 counters can be in that game. Like, they can either be pretty good or they can be like just really bad. Kind of like Funny Valentine's. Funny Valentine's counter is awful. Like, you get very little reward off of like how risky it is and how open it leaves you. Like, it's just not good. So hopefully this counter, they either like just buff counters in general, or whenever they port this over, like, yeah, that's what it does. Whenever they port it over, it's actually like good, or they just change it to actually make it good. So unfortunately, that's about it for Trish. Like, she's a really simple character in this game, and like I'm really happy that she's in ASBR, but she's really simple. I mean, like, she has like 3 moves. Her strings don't have that much variety. Like, her active skill is very, very simple. She has a GH. Well, everyone has like a dual heat attack in this game, but she's just like really simple. And like I said, it's cool that she made it in. I'm not super hyped to see her, but what I am hyped for is for the potential changes that they're going to give her. Like, she doesn't, in my opinion, she doesn't have enough moves to fit an entire move set. You know, like with just her 3 moves, like that's not enough to give a character, at least in ASBR, it's not enough to give a character like stand off and stand on special moves. And again, with like her normals, they're gonna have to give her brand new normals because these normals just aren't enough hits to be able to sustain like an entire move set. And that's what I'm most hyped for, just to see what CyberConnect 2 could do to give these characters like updated move sets. But those are my full thoughts on Trish's entire Eyes of Heaven moveset. If you guys enjoyed this style of video and want me to look at someone else's moveset like Diego, Alternate Diego, or Yukiko, let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate all of you for making it to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.